In this segment, Stephanie Miller is joined by her guest to discuss the stakes of the coming election and the role honest journalism might play in the outcome. Here's Stephanie.
The stock market hit record highs again today, something that the religion called Trumpism insists is impossible because in the last presidential campaign, Donald Trump promised this.
If he's elected, the stock market will crash.
Trumpism depends on stupidity. It has to, because Donald Trump is so profoundly stupid himself. It is impossible to get stupidity out of Trumpism.
Oh, how much do we love Lawrence O'Donnell?
Cold-blooded.
Okay, one more, Lawrence
A
O'Donnell.
face that is topped by hair, that is lying to you about exactly where Donald Trump's hairline might actually be. How he can be so deeply oblivious to the truth of what he looks like, with that stuff that he slaps on his face.
Charlie Kirk tweeted, the more they attack Trump, the stronger he gets, and you just tweeted back,
right, just a bunch of Z's. And I also, by the way, I that was a top tweet, but I also put the picture of him sleeping in the thing. I found, and when I saw that picture, I was like, I downloaded it immediately, and I was like, this and him with Epstein on an airplane, those two shots are just like, it saves you so much work.
Speaking of investigations, Bill Barr made go away.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, we would have to all just give up comedy if Mike Pence's fly had flown into Trump's open mouth.
Right.
Just feel like... just feel like this can't get any more clown showy.
Oh.
Charlie Pierce, Supreme Court watcher. We'll try to get him back on. But you retweeted Ian Millhiser, who said, thanks to a decision by the Supreme Court today, it's no longer safe to organize a political protest in the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, or Texas. And you said, I blame voters on my side of the aisle that shrugged off 2016 or voted for Stein because this missile was launched then.
Right.
Thank you.
Same thing with Roe. Like, I got to say, like, the shock and horror, I understand when it happened that you were shocked to hear the news. But the shock shouldn't be about that it happened, because it happened in the voting booth in 2016. And the fix for it is going to happen in the voting booth this year, period. Yeah. And it might even take a couple of years to, whether one cycle. If we manage to get enough of a majority in the Senate and the House, we'll be able to, codify Roe into a law that protects women so that they're not officially second-class citizens, which they are in the country right now. A woman has to decide what state, what rights she wants to have by the state she moves to. Women can only move to certain states right now because you're limiting your experience. Men don't have that problem at all. Not at all. And that's only fixed this election cycle and over the next, maybe at the midterms, depending on how long it takes us to get enough people in office.
You also tweeted about this whole, because that's the other thing, the Gaza thing. Like, Democrats aren't, progressives aren't, Muslims aren't going to.
Right.
And you were talking about the protests, and you said they're not pro-Palestinian, they're pro-Hamas.
Right.
Some of these protests. I mean, I just thought Biden's wins tweeted, new reports are indicating President Biden was instrumental in bringing together a coalition of UK, Jordanian, and Saudi Arabian pilots to shoot Iran's drones out of the sky.
Right.
President Biden's leadership on the world stage has been unparalleled.
Yeah.
I mean, take any issue and tell me how it wouldn't be 1,000 times worse.
Right. Well, never mind the fact that the primary negotiating point of the United States under Joe Biden has been the hostages have to play a part in a ceasefire. Period. End of story. You don't get to just pause the fighting because that's what Russia wants in Ukraine. It's the same thing. You can't just get away with it. You can't. You got to give us something in exchange, namely innocent humans.
Yep. Charlie, hello, welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back.
Yay!
I had to go to the Phantom Zone for a few minutes, but now I'm back.
Okay, good. Yay.
Anyway, judging from your social media content from Minneapolis, I am dreading what happens to the statues when you guys do the Washington show.
Yeah, there are actual historical statues in Boston.
We're going to find you at the Lincoln Memorial giving the poor guy a lap dance.
You don't even know what I have planned for Rocky in Philadelphia. But listen.
Or Paul Revere in Boston.
I beg your pardon. Outside of the Masonic Temple in downtown Philly, there is a giant Ben Franklin, and he was freaky.
Yeah, he was. He really was freaky.
Yeah, you can go see Big Ben inside. He's the big one.
I'll do a Boberting demonstration.
Luckily, he's wearing an apron, and it's made out of bronze. Otherwise.
All right, Charlie, thank you for the warning.
Pump tent.
Yeah, got talking about the Middle East for a second, Charlie. Chris Jackson tweeted, according to a recent book, Joe Biden isn't just the president of the United States, he's the West's father figure who foreign leaders call for advice and look to for assurance during situations like we currently face. I mean, Charlie, it isn't just what a complete disaster Donald Trump would be on the Middle East and every other subject. It's how really good at this Joe Biden is, right?
Well, yeah, that's the flip side of the coin, isn't it? That's the entire Western world is looking on him like the chief from Little Big Man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Seth Abrams.
This is my son. Please see that he does not go crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Seth Abrams said Joe Biden's trying to be POTUS while also fighting off Donald Trump's shadow administration, Steve Bannon's insurrection plotting, the fascist Project 2025, the Trump Netanyahu MBS, MBZ Putin collusion axis, and not for nothing trying to rescue us all from that Trump broke. No kidding, right? I mean, and with one of the thinnest legislative majorities ever, right?
Right. I mean, there's a lot on the old man's plate, and it ain't Weekina. It's a big old,
Yeah, these are
20-pound
substantial.
steak.
These are your medications, not your meals.
Right.
And yeah, it's and I think it's important to notice Ukraine funding, Israel funding. That's all going to go through this week.
Yep.
It's going to come up for a vote. All of it's going to pass. There'll be a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth, but it's all going to pass.
Yeah.
And stack that with the infrastructure bill. Stack that with the rescue package.
So Mike Johnson caved. So Charlie, does that mean Marjorie Taylor
no,
Greene is coming for him by the end of the week, or what?
Yeah, I see more than a little symptomology going on there.
Yeah. Well, and also just the slurring of words we were talking about. We played what was the one here? Let me just hear this one again. I'm not even sure 11. What he was saying. 11. Yeah. Hang on.
Just this week, it was reported that an illegal alien, and you just look at this, what's happening.
I think he meant illegal aliens.
Yes.
Okay.
I think he was going for that, but you couldn't convince a panel of experts that he really knew what he was saying.
Yeah.
I think it was illegal ad lib by accident. I think that was and it just ran aground. You know what I mean? Like he just steered that ship into Speech Island, and it just hit some reefs on the way in. And he's like,
I mean, it was no fashionable
Yeah.
Portion.
magnified portion and
yeah.
fashionable tape, whatever that was.
right.
Well,
Wow.
you played it earlier when he had Robert E. Lee speaking in a brogue.
Yeah, right.
Don't fight uphill, me boys.
Don't fight uphill, me boys. Don't you know?
What the hell? Do you think Robert E. Lee was at the Easter Rising or
He
something?
was a leprechaun pirate. They're the worst kind.
And technically, of course, Pickett's charge did have to go up a little hill, but that was after they marched a mile and a half.
Right. It was the walk that did it. He should know this
So
from
the hill
golf.
was
Oh, wait, he
the least
doesn't
of their
walk.
worries at that point.